Hi people, it's Blender O'Clock and it's time for a new video. Let's start. Okay, so we are on the blender.org website, and as you can see there is download Blender 2.92.0 version, so let's click it. Okay, and the website auto-detected that I'm using macOS, so I will download a DMG file. Okay, and you got the info that you are breathtaking, remember. And if you go back here again for download, you can see that you can choose actually many different versions. So you have installer for Windows and portable, just zip file that you can extract and use, and Microsoft Store. For macOS you have one option, and for Linux you have two options, like this one and the Snap Store. There is also a Steam version and the source code if you want to build it from source, or maybe play with Blender development. Okay, so you will also have it auto-detected, at least you should have, but maybe you want to put it on pen drive or something like that and use on different machines, so you can pick from there. I will not show the installation because it is like few clicks next on Windows, and on Mac it is just a drag and drop to application directory as in many other applications. And if you are using Linux you should handle it too. So yeah, okay, let's go to Blender. Okay, so we have Blender opened and it is at 2.92.0 version as with download. As you can see, we have the nice splash screen, and with each version you have another artwork shown from artists around the world, and this one is from Joanna Kobierska. So yeah, you can see some recent files here and some options like templates and stuff like that. Okay, so I just click it here because I want to use the default template, and you can see there is a cube already added here, just to not be so so empty. And this stuff is just showing my mouse actions and my keyboard like shortcuts. So when I'm pressing some key you can see it, so it's for you. You will not see it on your computer, and because it's like an additional add-on basically for Blender. Okay, so in this tutorial it is a whole new series. We are playing with Blender from scratch, so if you never ever used a Blender or even any other 3D application, this series is for you. You can learn it like from scratch with no knowledge required. This is the 3D viewport. It is the most important area of Blender. Blender actually calls that stuff, if you hover it, it's editor type. So those sections, windows are editor types in Blender, like this and this and this. Okay, and we are basically covering those today mostly, and other topics will be covered in separate tutorials. So I can navigate here like that. The navigation will be covered in a separate tutorial, so I'm just showing you what you can expect here. So on the left side you have some tools, and it is kind of similar like in 2D applications, like in Photoshop or something, that you have this toolbar and there are tools. So you have selection tools. There is a Blender specific 3D cursor which will be covered in another tutorial. You have some tools to manipulate basically the object, so you can like move it and rotate it and scale it and so on. So yeah, and there are other tools here, but I will not cover them too much because it's not about it in this video. And for efficient work in Blender and to make it more pleasant, I strongly recommend to use a mouse and numeric keyboard. So if you are on a laptop, I strongly recommend to have like a separate keyboard with full numeric keypad. So it is because we want to quickly snap to like top view, front view, side view. So I'm just pressing like 7 is top, 1 is front, and 3 is side view. But if you do not have it and cannot afford it, for example, you can use this widget located on the right top corner. So just by pressing and holding between those axes, you will like orbit the view, and if you click those axes, it will snap. So it is doable, but it is not as efficient as with using mouse and keypad. So you can also zoom in and zoom out like that, and pan. And also there is one more thing, that you can press 5 on numeric keypad and it will exit the perspective, so it is orthographic display now, and 5 again is perspective, and there is a button for that too. So yeah, just so you know. Okay, next what we will cover is this stuff. So this editor type is called outliner, and it is for basically listing all your objects, all your stuff in the scene you have. And also you can group them in collections, so it is really handy because you can, for example, quickly hide some collections and rename and organize better. And it is really important because, let's say I will duplicate a bit that object, and you can see there is more objects now. So imagine if you have like hundreds or even thousands of objects, which is really possible when you have heavy scenes. So it will be it could be quite not convenient to just select and manipulate those within a 3D view, and here you can quickly do that. You can also hide stuff and so on. Details will be covered in another video, so let's go to another editor type, which is this properties panel. And basically those icons here are tabs, so they are switching like the context, what we are seeing. And up to this one, like above this line, there are stuff that is about like more global thing, like for scene and for rendering purposes and stuff like that. And below is below you have things related to selected objects. So I will maybe deselect it so it will be better visible like that. And as you can see, when I click the object, it is outlined with this orange outline, like orange border, and yeah, so you can clearly see it, and you can now just manipulate stuff here like that, like for location, rotation, scale, and so on. You have things like modifiers, which basically are a way to modify the shape. I can really quickly show you, but it will be covered in a separate video. So like that, I can just with a few clicks manipulate the object, and it can be adjusted later. So it's not like a one type of operation. You have particle systems here, so you can make stuff like fireworks or dust or some hair and fur, stuff like that. And so that is useful. And here are physics simulations, so you have stuff like force fields and rigid body simulation and fluid simulation and cloth, so you can simulate many things here, but it will be covered in another video because it is a big topic on its own. And here are the constraints, so basically how the objects relates to each other. It is you can like affect one object by movement of another one, and so on. It is a thing that will be covered in future too, because it is more complex stuff. So here you can basically work on the object data, so you can assign some group some vertices, let's say, and then do some stuff based on that. So it is also more complex topic, not to be covered here, but you have stuff like that. And materials, so how the object will be rendered in when rendering, basically, because this is just viewport, and rendering is a operation when you just transform what you have in the viewport to the final image. So you can set stuff like color and how it affects lights and so on. So it will be covered in a separate video because it is a broad topic on its own. Okay, so with the one more editor type left, I want to cover in this short video is this one on the bottom, and it is a timeline. So you can see I can scrub it and nothing is happening because we do not have any keyframes. So basically you can make animations in Blender, and let's say I want to move that object in place, so I can just add a keyframe, and you can see there is like a diamond shape here, and I can move it some frames, like 71, but it can be anything. It's just a matter how long you want the animation to take, so how fast it will move or rotate or something like that. And then I will just move it slightly like that and add another keyframe, and we'll go back to the first frame and press space, and as you can see the object is animating. You can also then adjust it, remove and so on, but the animation will be covered in another video. And that was really a basic introduction to Blender, just to show you it, guys, and hopefully you like it, and will watch another videos, so watch out for them. And I suggest maybe to just subscribe, so it will be easier. for you to not miss any videos. And yeah, see you next time. Happy learning. Bye.